Your legs are getting weaker, and most people over 60 have absolutely no idea it's already happening to them. Not because they're lazy, not because they stopped going to the gym, but because every single morning they're skipping the one thing their muscles are desperately waiting for. And by the time they notice, by the time standing up from a chair feels harder, or climbing stairs takes more effort than it used to, the damage has been building quietly for months, sometimes years. So before you close this video, before you scroll past this, I need you to hear something. What you eat in the first hour of your morning is either saving your legs or slowly destroying them. And today, we're going to talk about exactly what seniors need to eat and why, based on real science, real biology, and information that most people never get told clearly. Stay with me, because around the halfway point of this video, we're going to talk about one specific morning combination that researchers have found works exceptionally well for people over 60. And it's not what you think. It's not some expensive supplement. It's not a protein shake that tastes like chalk. It's something most of us already have access to. We just never knew how to use it right. But first, let me tell you about something that happens inside your body every single night while you sleep. Because this is where the problem starts. And once you understand this, everything else will make sense. When you go to sleep, your body enters what scientists call a catabolic state. That's a fancy way of saying your body starts breaking down. It has no incoming fuel, no food, no protein. So it looks for energy somewhere else. And one of the first places it looks, especially in older adults, is muscle tissue. Your legs, your thighs, your calves, the muscles that hold you upright, the muscles that catch you when you stumble, the muscles that let you walk to your kitchen, play with your grandkids, get in and out of a car without needing help. Every night that process happens. And if you wake up and eat the wrong things or nothing at all, you give that breakdown process a head start on the day. This is called sarcopenia. It's the gradual, progressive loss of muscle mass that accelerates after the age of 60. And here's what makes it terrifying. It's silent. There's no pain in the early stages, no obvious warning sign. You just slowly start feeling weaker, a little less stable, a little more tired doing things that used to feel easy. And most people blame it on aging. They say, well, I'm getting older. This is just how it is. No, it's not. Aging does slow things down, that's true. But the rate at which you lose muscle, and more importantly, your ability to slow that loss down, is heavily influenced by one thing: what you eat and when you eat it. And morning is the most critical window of the entire day. Welcome to Dr. Jameson, where we take real health information backed by science and make it actually useful for your everyday life. If this is your first time here, you're in the right place. We talk about the things that matter most to your body, especially as you get older. And we don't sugarcoat it. We give it to you straight. Now let's talk about what your legs are actually made of, and why protein is the non-negotiable foundation of keeping them strong. Muscle tissue is built from protein, every fiber, every strand of it. And to maintain that muscle, not even build it, just maintain it, your body needs a steady, consistent supply of amino acids. These are the building blocks of protein, and your body cannot produce certain essential amino acids on its own. It needs to get them from food. Here's the part that most people miss. As you age, your body becomes less efficient at using the protein you eat. There's a phenomenon called anabolic resistance. Basically, your muscles become harder to stimulate. They become more stubborn. They need more of a signal to respond. In a younger person, eating 20 grams of protein might be enough to trigger muscle protein synthesis, the process of building and repairing muscle. But in someone over 60, that same 20 grams might not be enough. Research suggests older adults often need closer to 30 to 40 grams of high-quality protein per meal to get the same muscle-building signal. And breakfast, that first meal after 7 or 8 hours of fasting and muscle breakdown, is the most important time to hit that target. But most seniors aren't hitting it, not even close. A bowl of cereal with milk, a piece of toast, maybe some orange juice, That's what a lot of people eat in the morning. And while it's not nothing, the protein content in that kind of breakfast is usually somewhere between 5 and 12 grams, nowhere near enough. So the muscle continues to break down. Day after day, week after week, and the legs get weaker. Now here's where it gets interesting, because protein alone isn't the whole story. And this is the part that most health videos skip right over. You can eat protein all day long, but if your body can't absorb it efficiently, can't transport it to your muscles, and can't trigger the process of actually using it, it doesn't matter how much you eat. There are specific nutrients that act like keys. They unlock the door to muscle protein synthesis. The first key, leucine. Leucine is an amino acid found in protein-rich foods. But it's not just any amino acid. It's the one that acts as the primary trigger for muscle protein synthesis. Think of leucine as the spark that starts the engine. Without enough leucine, your muscles don't get the signal to rebuild. They stay in breakdown mode. Foods highest in leucine include eggs, dairy, meat, fish, and legumes. Whey protein is particularly rich in leucine. The second key, vitamin D. This one catches people off guard. Most people think of vitamin D as a bone vitamin. And yes, it's critical for bone health. But vitamin D also plays a direct role in muscle function. There are receptors for vitamin D in muscle tissue. And when those receptors aren't getting enough signal, when vitamin D levels are low, muscle strength and muscle mass both decline faster. Here's what's alarming. Studies suggest that a significant portion of older adults are deficient in vitamin D, and most of them don't know it. The third key, and this is the one that surprises people the most, is omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3s are not just heart healthy. Research has shown that omega-3 fatty acids help reduce muscle protein breakdown, and they also help increase the sensitivity of muscle tissue to protein. Remember anabolic resistance? Omega-3s actually help fight it. They help make your muscles more responsive to the protein you're eating. Fatty fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel are among the richest sources, but also flax seeds, chia seeds, and walnuts. So what does this all mean for your morning meal? It means the most powerful breakfast a senior can eat for their legs isn't just high in protein. It's high in leucine-rich protein combined with vitamin D and omega-3s. And now, I'm going to tell you exactly what that looks like in real food. Let's build the perfect morning meal for your legs, step by step, ingredient by ingredient. Start with eggs. 2 to 3 whole eggs, not just egg whites, whole eggs. Here's why. The yolk is where the vitamin D lives. The yolk is where the healthy fats are. The yolk has nutrients that the white doesn't. And whole eggs are one of the most bioavailable, complete protein sources that exist. Your body absorbs and uses egg protein extremely efficiently. 3 whole eggs give you roughly 18 to 19 grams of protein. That's a solid start. But we need more, so we're not stopping there. Add Greek yogurt or cottage cheese. A cup of plain Greek yogurt gives you another 15 to 20 grams of high-quality protein. It also contains calcium, which works alongside vitamin D. Cottage cheese is another excellent option, high in casein protein, which digests slowly and continues your muscles over several hours. If you're lactose intolerant, cottage cheese is often tolerated better. Now, add omega-3s. Sprinkle a tablespoon of ground flaxseed or chia seeds into the yogurt. Simple, easy. You won't even taste it. Alternatively, if you like savory breakfast, add a piece of smoked salmon. The combination of eggs, salmon, and Greek yogurt in one breakfast is genuinely one of the most muscle-protective morning meals you can build. Add some color. A handful of spinach, some cherry tomatoes, half an avocado. These aren't just decoration. Spinach contains nitrates, which have been linked to better muscle efficiency. Avocado adds healthy monounsaturated fats that help with vitamin absorption, and the antioxidants in vegetables help reduce inflammation, because inflammation, which increases with age, actively breaks down muscle tissue. Now here's the timing piece, and this matters. Eat this meal within 30 to 60 minutes of waking up. Why? Because after a night of fasting, your cortisol levels are elevated. Cortisol is a stress hormone, and high cortisol promotes muscle breakdown. Eating a protein-rich breakfast helps lower cortisol and shifts your body from that catabolic breakdown state into an anabolic rebuilding state. Every hour you delay breakfast, especially if you're over 60, is another hour your body spends in that muscle-burning mode. If you're someone who says, "I'm just not hungry in the morning," that's actually a signal worth paying attention to. It can mean your metabolism has slowed significantly, or it can mean your blood sugar and cortisol rhythms have shifted. Either way, starting with something small, even just the eggs and a small portion of yogurt, is better than waiting until noon. Now, I want to talk about something that doesn't get discussed enough in these conversations, and that's the connection between leg muscle loss and your independence. People don't think about it until it's too late, but the muscles in your legs are the most important muscles in your body when it comes to maintaining your independence as you get older. They're what keep you upright. They're what catch you when you start to fall. They're what let you get up from the floor if you do fall. They're what allow you to walk to your car, climb stairs, get in and out of the shower without holding the wall. Every year after the age of 60, the average person loses between 1 and 2% of their muscle mass if they're not actively working to preserve it. That sounds small, but over 5 years, that's up to 10%. Over 10 years, that's potentially 20%. And here's what that actually looks like in real life. It's the grandparent who used to walk everywhere, but now needs a cane. It's the woman who used to garden for hours, but now gets out of breath going up half a flight of stairs. It's the man who raised his children, built his career, was strong and capable his entire life, and now feels embarrassed to ask for help getting out of the car. This is what sarcopenia does, and it does it quietly, slowly. While you're going about your life, eating cereal in the morning, thinking everything is fine, but it doesn't have to go that way. That trajectory is not fixed. The science is extremely clear on this. Older adults who consume adequate protein consistently, who eat it strategically in the morning, and who combine it with the right supportive nutrients, they lose muscle significantly more slowly. Some studies show they can even regain muscle that was lost. The body is resilient, even at 70, even at 80. It wants to hold on to muscle. You just have to give it the tools to do it. Let me also address something that comes up a lot. A lot of seniors worry about protein in their kidneys. You might have heard that eating too much protein is hard on the kidneys. Here's the truth. For people with pre-existing kidney disease, protein intake does need to be managed carefully, and that should absolutely be done in consultation with a doctor. If you have kidney issues, please work with your physician before making significant dietary changes. But for healthy older adults with normal kidney function, and this is what the research actually shows, higher protein intake is not harmful to the kidneys. In fact, multiple studies have found that adequate protein intake in older adults is associated with better health outcomes across the board. The fear of protein damaging healthy kidneys has been largely overstated, and unfortunately, that fear has led many older adults to avoid protein, which has directly contributed to muscle loss. So, if your doctor hasn't specifically flagged a kidney concern, don't let that fear rob your muscles of what they need. Now, let's talk about a few more foods that deserve a place in a senior's morning routine for leg health specifically. Because while the eggs, yogurt, and omega-3 combo is the foundation, there are some additions that can genuinely accelerate the results. Tart cherry juice or tart cherries. This one might surprise you. Tart cherries are rich in anthocyanins, compounds with powerful anti-inflammatory effects. Research has shown that tart cherry juice can reduce muscle soreness and support muscle recovery. For seniors who do any form of exercise, walking, light resistance training, stretching, drinking a small glass of tart cherry juice in the morning can support muscle repair and reduce the inflammation that comes with physical activity. Turmeric with black pepper. Curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, is one of the most researched anti-inflammatory compounds in nutrition science. Chronic low-grade inflammation, which is extremely common in older adults, is one of the drivers of muscle breakdown. Adding turmeric to your morning eggs or a morning smoothie, combined with a pinch of black pepper to dramatically increase absorption, is a small addition with meaningful impact over time. Protein-enriched oatmeal. For those who prefer a warm, more traditional breakfast, oatmeal doesn't have to be a low-protein choice. Cook it with milk instead of water to add protein and calcium. Stir in a scoop of protein powder. Add a couple of tablespoons of almond butter or peanut butter. Top with chia seeds. That simple bowl of oatmeal can suddenly contain 30 to 35 grams of high-quality protein without feeling like a challenge to eat. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is consistency. You don't need to eat all of these foods every single morning. You need to find the combination that works for your lifestyle and your taste preferences and stick to it. Day after day, week after week, because muscle is not built or preserved in a single meal. It's built through consistent daily choices over time. Here's something I want you to think about, and I want you to really sit with this for a moment. Most people wait for a health crisis before they make changes. They wait for the fall. They wait for the doctor to say something alarming. They wait until the weakness is so obvious that it can no longer be ignored. But the work of preserving your strength, your independence, your ability to move through the world without fear, that work happens before the crisis. It happens in the quiet Tuesday mornings when you choose eggs and yogurt over cereal. It happens in the Wednesday afternoon when you do 10 minutes of walking even though you don't feel like it. It happens in the small, unglamorous, unposted choices that nobody sees. That's where the real story is. Not in the dramatic recovery, but in the prevention. In the choosing every morning to give your body what it needs before it starts asking loudly. Because here's what nobody tells you. The muscles in your legs have been working for you every single day of your life. Every step you've ever taken. Every time you stood up from a fall. Every time you carried something heavy. Every time you danced or walked on the beach or climbed stairs to tuck your kids in at night. Those muscles have been there, quietly, faithfully doing their job. And now, the question is, are you going to do yours for them? Let me also address something that comes up a lot. And that's the role of movement. Because food and exercise are not separate conversations. They work together. You don't have to go to a gym. You don't have to lift heavy weights. In fact, for many seniors, resistance training with just body weight or light resistance bands is all that's needed to send a signal to the muscles to stay strong and not break down. Squats, sit-to-stand exercises from a chair, calf raises while standing at the kitchen counter, step-ups on a low step, leg raises while sitting. These are not hard. They take 5 to 10 minutes, and done consistently, even 3 to 4 times a week, combined with that protein-rich morning meal, the results are genuinely remarkable. Research on seniors who combine adequate protein intake with even low-intensity resistance exercise consistently shows better muscle retention compared to those who do only one or the other. The two together are synergistic. The exercise sends the signal. The protein gives the body the materials to respond. Think of it this way. Exercise is the request. Protein is the answer. If you send the request but never provide the answer, nothing gets built. If you eat the protein but never send the request, the muscles don't know to use it efficiently. You need both, and both are achievable, even on your hardest days. There's one more thing I want to mention before we wrap up, and it's something that's often overlooked in conversations about muscle loss in older adults. Hydration. Muscle tissue is approximately 75% water. When you're dehydrated, even mildly, muscle function declines, reaction time slows, coordination decreases, strength decreases, and the risk of falling increases. A lot of seniors are chronically mildly dehydrated without realizing it. The sense of thirst weakens with age. You might not feel thirsty even when your body needs water, and certain medications commonly taken by older adults can increase fluid loss. The simple habit of drinking a full glass of water first thing in the morning, before coffee, before breakfast, before anything, and then continuing to sip water throughout the day is not a small thing. It's foundational. Muscles cannot contract properly when they're not properly hydrated. Protein cannot be transported and used efficiently when hydration is poor. Water, protein, leucine-rich foods, omega-3s, vitamin D, movement. These are not complicated. They are not expensive. They don't require a personal trainer or a nutritionist or a prescription. They require awareness and they require consistency. And that awareness, that's what this video is for. So let's bring it all together. Here is your morning protocol for protecting your leg muscles. Simple, practical, and grounded in real science. Wake up and drink a full glass of water immediately. Within 30 to 60 minutes, eat a breakfast that contains at least 30 grams of high-quality leucine-rich protein. The best options for this are eggs, especially whole eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, and fatty fish like salmon. Add an omega-3 source, ground flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts, or fatty fish. Add anti-inflammatory support, turmeric, colorful vegetables, tart cherries if accessible. Get some morning sunlight if possible, even 15 minutes, to support your vitamin D levels naturally. Then, at some point during your morning, do something with your legs, sit-to-stand exercises, a walk, calf raises, something that sends the signal to your muscles that they are needed, that they should stay strong. And do it again tomorrow and the day after. That's it. That's the whole protocol. Not a miracle cure, not a magic pill, just real food, real movement, and real consistency, applied every morning with intention. Your legs have carried you your entire life. They've walked you to your wedding. They've stood with you when you buried people you loved. They've chased children and grandchildren. They've carried you through decades of moments you'll never forget. They haven't asked for much, but right now, they're asking for this: 30 grams of protein, a glass of water, 10 minutes of movement. That's what they need to keep going, to keep carrying you. And the question isn't whether you know this now. You do. The question is what you do with it tomorrow morning when the alarm goes off and it's easier to pour a bowl of cereal. Your strength is a choice. Your independence is a choice. And every single morning, you get to make that choice again. Don't wait for your legs to fail you before you decide to fight for them. Fight for them now, while it's still easy, while the window is still open, because the best time to start protecting your muscles was years ago, but the second best time, it's tomorrow morning. If this video gave you something real today, if it made you think about your morning differently, share it with someone who needs to hear it. A parent, a sibling, a friend who's been mentioning that they've been feeling weaker lately. Send it to them. Because this kind of information doesn't reach enough people who actually need it. And drop a comment below. Tell me, what does your current morning breakfast look like? Are you hitting that protein target? I read every comment. I want to know where you're starting from. If you're not already following Dr. Jameson, now is the time. We put out real, practical health content built around the questions people are actually living with. Not the surface-level stuff, the real stuff. And if there's a specific health topic you want us to cover, something you've been searching for answers on, leave it in the comments. Your next answer might already be in our next video. Take care of your legs. They're not just carrying your body, they're carrying your life.